Private Brian, did you need something?
I was just going to answer your question. That I did have it open.
Okay, good.
Mine is not opening for whatever reason. Let me see why.
Click harder.
Yeah, click on it 10 times instead of once.
All right, you can go ahead and take a knee, Private Brian.
It opened. Back in 10 seconds.
Alrighty. Advanced Leaders Course 1. We're going to be going over land navigation. The purpose of this document is to train personnel in land navigation techniques. Land navigation is a crucial soldiering skill that all need to know.
Okay.
Private DOG, are you settled?
I'm here.
Good. Land navigation skills increase communication and efficiency of movements of friendly units. Also, understanding terrain can be an advantage when engaging enemy elements. Map reading. Being able to read a map is an incredibly useful skill. Proper map reading is a method of reconnaissance. Also, understanding terrain can have a drastic effect on your troops. If you analyze a map and find that you are going to have to go up and over a mountain, you might want to have your troops decrease their weight. Map reading can also be a force multiplier. Traditionally, you want to engage the enemy from the high ground or in areas where you have clear observations and fields of fire. All right, so colors on a map. If y'all want to, go ahead and open up your maps, and that way you can have some good examples of this as I'm going over them. So colors on a map. Gray is buildings or man-made objects and also rocks. So you can see around where we currently are, you see the little gray outlines of the structures. If you look around towards the mountains and areas like that, you'll kind of see areas where large boulders may be. Blue is water. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Green is vegetation. So tree lines, stuff like that. Red or brown are contour lines. So these are a bit easier to see more of them if you zoom in to within about a 25 meter to 50 meter scale. And you'll see those little curved lines going up or down an area. Those are contour lines. So orange. What is going on there? All right. Orange are major roadways, so MSRs. Brown are unpaved road, also known as ASRs. And white, outlined with black, are roads. All right, symbols on a map. Mountaintops are marked with triangles. Churches are marked with crosses. Double dark triangles are rocks. So I'm sure if we look, we go to the town of Montagnac. There's an example of a cross there. It's got like the little circle, white circle at the bottom, and then a cross at the top. So that indicates that it's a church. Let's see. Can anybody find one with rocks? Double dark triangles. Anybody see double dark triangles anywhere? Yeah. If you do, why don't we call out the grid ref of it?
I do, Sergeant.
Shoot.
The grid reference is 050077. Reference Raccoon Rock.
Puzzle.
Yep, very good. All right, high towers and observations are also marked. There are many other symbols, and most are self-explanatory. Excuse me? Sergeant? Was he talking to us? I didn't catch that.
I believe he's in... Yeah, sir, I'm just talking.
All right. Well, we shall continue. All right, map scales. When the map is zoomed all the way out, grids are 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. So if you zoom your map all the way out, you see those square grids everywhere. Each of those are 1 kilometer across. So you can roughly see how long this island is. When the map is zoomed in, so zoom in until you'll go from, in the bottom left, you can see 500 meters on your blue form. And as soon as it goes to 100 meters, that's when you'll see the smaller grids. There'll be a lighter gray lines, grid lines, rather than the darker black ones that indicate the 1 kilometer squares, or 1 kilometer grids, rather. So these are 100 meters by 100 meters. So you can see that, from the edge of province to the other edge is, roughly 100 meters if you were to scale that out. So you can use that. That's very helpful if you want to gauge roughly how far you are from somebody. If you know you've need to move to a certain objective, you can zoom in a bit, and you'll be able to see how the 100-meter markers will help you with that better than obviously the kilometer ones don't help too much when you're talking about infantry movements. All right, terrain. Contour lines indicate changes in elevation. The distance between 2 dark contour lines is 100 meters. So again, those contour lines we talked about before that are the red/brown color.
Yeah, what one is doing, they're just simply doing land nav.
Are y'all hearing that as well?
Yes.
Firm.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Hey, firm.
All right, give me a second.
Is it just me, or is Rouse coming across really broken for everybody?
No, that's fine to me.
Sergeant Campbell was for me. No, not
Okay.
Rouse.
Well, Campbell was as well, but the docs won't open for me either. The Google Docs won't open.
Yeah, you're pretty in and out for me.
Shit.
Holy shit, all of you are the same for me.
I hear all of you just fine. I think.
I heard everyone fine.
I understand all of you, it's just, it sounds like you're speaking into a fan.
It sounds like I'm speaking into a fan.
Everyone.
Oh, everyone.
It's windy.
Well, it is windy outside, yeah. I mean, see the grass moving? There's some wind.
But I have the earplugs in.
Push them further. I don't know what to tell you about it. All right, where were we? The distance between 2 dark contour lines is 100 meters. The distance between 2 light contour lines is 20 meters. Lines that appear further apart indicate that the terrain is relatively flat. So, let me bring my map back out. If you look, well, really just to our northeast here, or go reference Cowbell Pond to our northwest. You'll see those contour lines going out. They're pretty spaced apart. So the more spaced apart the contour lines are, the more gradual the increase or decrease in elevation will be. When they're really close together, it means that it's steep, right? So if you have a lot of them, very, very close to, if you could zoom in enough to those, that probably is a bad example, because if you zoom in a bit further, you'll see that they get closer together. But if you look, let's go to a Nome Flat area. Yeah, if you go down to just to the north of Fagari, and you zoom in enough, you'll see that, there's some pretty wide spaces between. You see more contour lines there. That means it's going to be flat, right? Because there's not much change in elevation. All right, lines that appear further apart indicate that the terrain is relatively flat, as we just discussed. The closer contour lines are to each other, the steeper the terrain. Circular lines that have no other contour lines inside of them indicate a hilltop. So we can actually, if you go to the hilltop actually that was referenced earlier, Calvary Hill, for example, you'll see how they go. There's a circle, right? So there's no more contour lines in between it. So that's the top of that hill. And so those circular, when they're in a good circle like that, that just indicates that on all sides it's going up to a hill. Sometimes you have a hill that'll have more of a cliff side on one end, you know, so you'll have steep contour lines, and then you'll have on the other side it's gradual. If there are a number, if there's a number inside of the circle, that number is the elevation of the hill. Hills can be identified by their elevation. Example given, hill 495 is a hill that has a marked elevation of 495 meters above sea level. Actually, I believe there is a, if we go, yes, if you go down to St. Marie at grid 081027, just to the west of Duras, you'll see that there's two hilltops there that have their elevation markers there. They have the triangle, and then they have the elevation underneath. That's always in reference to sea level. There are 5 major terrain features and 3 minor terrain features. There are also 2 supplementary terrain features. However, these do not exist in ARMA. Major features: hills, which we just went over them, how you can identify them. Valleys. So, you know, a valley is the area between 2 hills. Then you have a ridge, which is, you know, a chain of hills going across. Normally, they will have what's called a saddle, which is the next part. So, in between, you know, along the ridge, you may have saddles. So it's the peak of a hill or a mountain, and then a dip, a slight dip. It doesn't go all the way to the base or near the base of the hill or mountain. It's just a slight dip, and then it goes back up. So that would be a saddle. And then you have depressions. Depressions could be like ponds. They're also, you know, if you have like a dried up pond, it can create a depression, a natural depression that way. Things like that. Minor terrain features, we have draws, which are basically just sort of cuts into the land. They can be created by dried up riverbeds, stuff like that, and it'll create a draw up the side of up a hill. You have spurs. So you can see the example of spurs there. They're a bit more steep, and they're going up, you know, up. Say you're going up the side of a mountain, and you have like a deep gash in the side of the mountain. You know, in between there can be utilized for very effective concealment because it's in between, and although it renders your visibility pretty low, but those are spurs. And then cliffs. Well, I'm not explaining cliffs to you. I hope you know what a cliff is. All right, grids. So this is going to be how to properly read a map. So grids, 4-digit grids, a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer area, very inaccurate. An example would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So grid line 1, 2 is the grid on the top, and grid line 2, 4 is the grid on the side. So if you zoom out all the way, you'll notice on the top of your map, you'll see, you know, say 0, 5. And then on the left, you can see 0, 5. So if you found 0, 5, 0, 5, you know, you zoomed in a bit, you know, that would put you just to the southwest of Pagari. But it's a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer marking. It's not very accurate. It gives a general AO. All right, 6-digit grids. These are more accurate. These are the most common ones that we utilize. They are 100 by 100 meter areas. They're decently accurate. They're accurate enough for CAS and ARMA. The example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grid line 1, 2, 3 is the top grid, the line at the top of the grid. Now to see these, you have to zoom in until you're at the 100 meter increments, and that way you see the smaller light gray lines there. So, Private Brian, why don't you tell us what our current grid ref is?
In 6-digit, Sergeant?
Correct, 6-digit.
Our current grid ref is 056059, roughly keypad 7.
Yes. Yeah, we'd be getting into keypads to get a bit more accurate. So that's when we get into the, we can illustrate them as keypads. That's how we most commonly do it. But yeah, you're correct. Well, you can also assign numbers to it, but that would that's a bit more on the I would say more advanced land nav. Keypads are usually sufficient for our navigation purposes. All right, 8-digit grids. 8-digit is, so now we're going from 100 kilometer to 100 meters. Now we're knocking it down to 10 meters. So 10 by 10 meter area. It's very accurate. It's accurate enough for CAS and ARMA. And an example would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Grid line 1, 2, 3, 4 would be on the top. 5, 6, 7, 8 would be on the bottom. So you're noticing the pattern there. The more narrow it gets, you're splitting them, about halfway. So when we have 6 digits, it's the first 3 numbers and then the second 3 numbers. When we have 8, it's the first 4, then the last 4, so on and so forth. So 10 digits grid. This is the most accurate one that we could possibly do in ARMA, and it's a 1 by 1 meter area. So it's roughly right where you're standing. That would be your exact grid ref. It's nearly impossible to get exact in ARMA. Technically, it's possible. It's just not practical. Sergeant Jacobs here is putting some keypad references down. So, when we talk about a keypad, we're talking about, if you would reference what a keypad would look like from the top down, you're looking at a keyboard. These are the keypads. So, 1 would be in the southwest corner, 9 would be in the northeast. And if you are looking at the map, you'll see exactly how you would call the keypads there. In ARMA, you can only accurately get a 6-digit grid. You can, however, use your skills to get an approximate 8-digit grid. There are 2 methods. The first is to use I believe that's supposed to be protractor, and get a grid. However, this is currently not possible in ARMA and would take time anyhow. The other method is to imagine grids as a number line. Between grid line 9-1 and 9-2, there are decimal points in between. Say you look at a point and then mentally draw a line up to the number line. Where would that line fall? 9.3.3, 9.3.2. If you determine that it's closer to 9.3.3, you can use the grid 9.3.3. Remember, this is a method that is not 100% accurate. All right. I want everyone to grab a major terrain feature. Don't go ahead and don't blurt it out. I'll go down the line. And we'll get the grid ref of that major terrain feature from each person. Private McFalls, let me know when you have one ready, and we'll be starting off with you.
I'm ready to go, Sergeant.
All right, good.
Thank you, Sergeant. I've got a ridge, grid ref 078039er is the center of that ridge. Reference Western Heights.
The grid was 078079er. Is that correct?
Yes, Sergeant. Sorry, 078030. Sorry.
Yeah, let's put this in the water.
Really.
So 0780 tree what? Tree niner?
030.
030.
I don't know what I did while I was zooming into it. My bad.
Yes. Yeah. So we have that. What would that be there? What are you referencing?
Well, that one in particular is a mountain, but there's a ridge of mountains along there. But
right. So it's and it follows all the way down. Right. All right, Corporal Martinez.
Thank you, Sergeant. I have a hill 061052, reference Simon's Wood.
That is right. Give me a notable feature about that hill. Describe the approach of that hill.
I would say there's a lot of green, which is vegetation.
Yes. Also, if you zoom in enough, you'll notice that on the northwest side, it is steeper and gradient than on the southeast side, for example, where it flattens out a bit. All right. And we have Private DOG.
I have a Peninsula Lighthouse at 073095.
That is correct. The Scythe. All right, Private Wren.
Thank you, Sergeant. I have a valley in grid 085033, reference Green Valley.
Aren't you clever?
Heh.
Private Lawson.
Thank you, Sergeant. Trying to figure out if this is a depression at 102026 Pelbit Lake.
You said Bell Pit Lake, is that correct?
Affirm. 102026.
All right, so what you could do to determine, since this is a very rocky and elevated area, is if you look off to the west of that, and I hope I'm not taking anybody's example here, but you have an elevation marker of 1 tree meters, right? Just near Cheval Gin Lodge, in between that and Bell Pit Lake. So if you notice the contour lines, they're very steep and they're going down to a lake. Now, I don't know if you've tried to ever overfill a bowl, but it'll spill over if it doesn't have a depression to go into, right? So generally lakes you can assume are a depression within, you know, an otherwise elevated area. Now the elevation in this case is very steep. If you notice, the contour lines are quite, you know, close together. And, you know, they're certainly closer together to the northwest where it's going up to that, there's some ridges along there. But yes, that is a depression.
Affirm.
All right, Private Wood.
Private Wood.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Gotcha.
We sure can.
What?
All right, go with 085022, reference Prow Peak. It's a hill. Make sure it on the line 8485. Pick your poison.
Absolutely. All right. Private Brian.
Yeah. I do have one quick question.
Yes.
So the difference between a spur and a draw. Spur is low ground, correct?
Spur generally goes up like a high ground, so a draw
Spur
would
is
be
high ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have at rough grid 085101, I have some, like, I don't know if you call these slight or gradual, like spurs and draws moving up the coast.
085101.
Oh, correction, 010.
There we go. So it mostly, yeah. So you see, if you, especially if, you zoom into the 50-meter on your blue 4 there, you see how steep that is. Look how close those contour lines are. So we could deduce that when going up that, it'd be like a spur going up to some mountains. Now, the thing is the elevation on those isn't incredibly high. It gets certainly higher up once you get near to the northeast of that, around Swell Mountain or so. So
Copy.
draws a lot of the time are a bit wider, whereas spurs are kind of like think of like a big whip where to hit the side of a mountain. It puts a spur into it. It's just it's kind of a narrow cut right into the side of a mountain or a steep elevation. So that one right there at 0.85, let's say 0.12, that would be probably like a draw, whereas we could, if you look over to 0.82, 0.13, that might be more like a spur, because you notice how the elevations are a bit closer together on the left and right. All right, Private Brown.
Private Brown, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Thank you, Sergeant. I have both a valley and a ridge at 0.88048.
Yes. So if you noticed around that sort of grand area all around Spruce Hill going all the way down to Perel, you'll notice that the ridges create kind of like a bowl shape. If you look to the southwest of that bowl, you'll see how it kind of elevates there, and you got vegetation in the middle. A good way to mark if it's your contour lines are failing you for any reason, a lot of times ASR is like, if you see that brown road, it's like a snake, it's like a serpentined road. The only reason to usually do that, because shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So why wouldn't they have a straight line? It's because of elevation, right? They need to be able to curve like that to slow down. So you can use ASRs at a quick glance to notice elevated areas if you are just needing it for a quick reference. All right, very good. All right. Sergeant Jacobs, I understand you've already taken this course, but if you had an example you wanted to give, a good example
I
for
got
the
one
class,
that's
go ahead.
different. Thank you,
Sure.
Sergeant. So if you reference Pennant's Pass at 0.83024, it's going to be a little saddle right there in between Western Heights and Castle Ridge.
Very good. Yes. So you see between Prowl Peak and St. Marie, that's a perfect example of a saddle. Probably the best example of a saddle we have in the whole map, the whole region of Everon. Yes, that would be a saddle, and they have a road going right between it. All right. Very good, everybody. Let's continue. All right, we're going to do the next exercise here. This is going to be more of a popcorn thing. We're not going to go to every single person. I think y'all accurately gave the description of the terrain feature, and we're accurately able to give a 6-digit grid. So I'm going to give you a 4-digit grid, and I want you to just tell me sort of the most notable feature of that 4-digit grid. All right, let's go with 0106. Anybody can speak up once they have an idea of it.
Black Rock Bay.
Yes, it is a bay, exactly. Also, Reptar's Head. All right, let's do one more. Let me find a good one. All All right, how about 0406? Anybody but Private DOG, since he just answered one.
Pinewood Lake, partially.
Yes. Yeah, it also goes down into 04 or 05. Yeah, but that's pretty notable one, right? Giant lake in the middle of Devereaux. All right, so y'all get an idea of what the 4-digit grids are, correct? When you're at 1 kilometers, you know, you're getting your northern and then your eastern lines. And it gives a general description of the area. You know, if you just want to describe where Pinewood Lake was without being extremely specific, you know, you could say 0406 or 0405. That would give a good idea of where, you know, it's in between those grid coordinates there. All right. All right. Intersection and resection. If there's one thing that is true in the military, it is that technology will fail. If your technology fails you and you need to know your location on a map, there is a technique, resection. If you need to know the location of something that you see, you have another element in a different location that sees that thing. You can work together to find its exact location. This technique is called intersection. So intersection, used to find the location of something you are looking at, requires another person at another location also looking at that. So it's you're making a triangle, right? If I was standing here and let's say, well, Sergeant Howkett's where he's at, and somehow I couldn't see him, but I wanted to reference something. You know, I'd say, hey, I see a white barn with a red roof and wood siding to the west. And if he'd say he sees that too, well, he would say, well, I see that from my, you know, it'd probably be like his you know, 265. And for me, it's my 277. So we cut the difference and now I can find him. If I can't find Sergeant Howkett at this distance, I'm pretty much blind and worthless anyways, but that is the idea, right? You're making a triangle. So it's your reference, you know, what's the item you're referencing or the location you're referencing, from where you're at, and then where your partner's at that you're coordinating with. This method is simple. Say you're on a hilltop in an LP/OP, which is a listening post or observation post, and you see an enemy patrol taking a break. You pull out your trusty compass and shoot an azimuth, which is your direction, to them. You have another friendly squad on an adjacent hilltop who also sees them, and they shoot an azimuth to their position to them. You must know the exact location of yourself and the friendly squad's position on the map. So open your map, which is M by default. Console, you're on your own. Use your ACE self-interaction key and select to show either large map tools or small map tools. So really, if you wanted to, you can also use your compass and, you know, use the azimuth there. But you can use your map tools on the side. If you look at your map, you'll notice that there's some map tools available. And you can use those to help draw a line between, you know, to make that triangle between where you are, where your friendly element is, and where they are. So you'll drag the center of your compass over your location. You hold control and click on the compass. This allows you to orient it. So if you have your compass, the compass is, you don't have to hit the buttons for it. You can see it over there on the side of your map there. So you would put that over your position. Ideally, you zoom in as much as possible. You can get your azimuth that way.
I got a comment here for the compass that may help.
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks, Sergeant. So if you guys open your compass in the map, you guys will see you have the arrow, which is facing north, right? And then you'll see that black line that is facing like northeast. Are you all tracking that?
Tracking.
So that black line represents in game which way you are facing. So if you go out of the map right now, you open compass, you'll see that we are facing roughly to the northeast. So if you face directly north, and you go back into your map, pull out your compass again, you should see that they're roughly aligned now to the north.
There you go. Also, and I think it's pretty obvious by now, we're having to do some instructional things. There's going to be some immersion break. I apologize for that. But if you hit K on your keyboard, bring out your compass, you can also do this as well. So you can just align the azimuth line with the true north, and that'll put you at north.
And if you're looking at it in first person, the compass, the inner lines, the inner numbers, right? Those are your degrees, right? So that's going to be your bearing or whatever. The outer numbers are your mils. So that's going to be like your, your azimuth, I believe.
Your heading. So you have headings and you have bearings, yeah. So a heading is like an objective bearing, if that makes any sense. So your bearing is personal to you. So for me, I might say that west, is bearing 270. For you, if you're way off somewhere else, that my 270 and your 270 aren't the same, but the heading is always the same, right? So that it's the objective perspective of direction. That makes sense. So bearing is your personal bearing. That's why sometimes when you hear a call to contact, when say, I call down to you that 1-2 has contact, and they're saying that it's 0-1-0. Well, it might be like 3-5-0 for you, right? But if they had a compass out, they could use a heading instead, and the heading would be more accurate for everybody. It's north is north no matter where you're at, right? But it's subjective versus objective perspective. It's used a lot in things like aviation. Private DOG.
If you're farther north than the element that is in contact to the north, then it could be to your south. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to be specific when you're calling things up. You say it's to my north, right? And when we use the 3Ds for contact reports, and that's why they're the bare minimum. They're not, all encompassing, because you might say to my north, near this specific landmark, and if the element you're calling it up to realizes, oh, that's to my south, well, they can reference that because, oh, well, the landmark they're calling out happens to be to my south. It's their north. So now we know that we know that we're in between. The objective that's being called out is now in between the two.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Which would be an example of intersection, which is what we're talking about.
Right. The landmark would be the intersecting point.
Right, exactly. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't make a triangle. The point is if you were adjacent to each other, and the example given, that would have made a triangle, right? If we're up on two adjacent hilltops and we're calling something like down the hill, if you were to draw a line from the objective to your position to the friendly element, it makes a triangle. Sometimes it doesn't make one. It might make a straight line, and you're looking for the intersecting point.
Yeah.
All right, so you would repeat this from your adjacent squads and friendly positions. The string of dots will make two lines where these lines intersect as the location of the patrol you are looking at. All right, now we're going to talk about resection. Resection is very similar to intersection, but instead it finds your location. Say you are leading your squad through a valley and are lost. You look around, or you look ahead, rather, and see two mountaintops, one to your front right and one to your front left. You look at your map and know the valley you are in, but not sure where in the valley you are. You are able to find the two mountains on the map. Anything can be used, crossroads, churches, saddles, etc. You shoot azimuth to both mountaintops. Like intersection, place your compass on both mountaintops. However, since you are looking the opposite direction, you need to take a back azimuth. To do this, your azimuth is over 180 degrees. Subtract 180 degrees. If your azimuth is under 180 degrees, add 180 degrees. This reverses your direction and is the direction from the mountaintop to you. With your compass and map, you can repeat the steps for intersection, or another method is to draw solid lines. To draw a solid line, hold Alt and click in the center of the compass, and then click at the end of the red arrow at the end of your compass. Where these two lines intersect is your location. All right. This is where we need to do some more practical stuff. Sergeant Jacobs, did you already have a patrol placed down for us to practice intersection?
Negative. So I was going to take them to a spot to show them how to kind of do it.
Sure.
Actually, in game. So I'll do it, and then they can kind of just follow along.
Sure thing. Let's do that.
Copy. All right, stand by.
Private DOG. I don't think you need your night vision today. Pretty bright. Sergeant Jacobs, your mic's going on.
Okay. Say again?
Your mic was going on that whole time. All right.
Okay, sure. All right, so if you guys come over here and you pull out your compasses, you all can see that lighthouse tower directly to our 296. Y'all see that?
Confirm.
Very firm.
Alright, so when you're trying to find you're going to need at least two different reference points to create the intersection, right? So we got that one point over there at our 296. If you look around,
We got that radio tower, relay tower, transmitter tower to 070.
yep, there we go. So we got 2 points. Alright, so we got the radio tower. I mean, it's 072. And we got the lighthouse tower to 296. So what you're going to do is you're going to open your map. You're going to open your protractor by clicking on the ruler symbol on the left-hand side, upper left-hand side of the map. You're going to pull the protractor down and you're going to center it on the lighthouse to our 296. Let me know when you all have done that.
Done.
Done.
Yep.
Alright, so next you're going to click on the pencil symbol. That's going to allow you to draw. And you're going to check your bearing. So mine was 296, whatever yours is. You're going to go on your protractor, on the inner numbers, you're going to go to 296 or whatever your number is. You're going to put the line straight through where the lighthouse is, so the center of the protractor, and you're going to drag that line all the way through the protractor and pretty much go as far as you can without going off screen. And then click your mouse or controller, and that will place that line marker for you. Let me know when you've all done that.
Done.
Done.
If you have any questions, let me know. You guys got it? You having trouble, or?
I can't seem to draw a line through the protractor.
You gotta drag it to the other side before you let go of it.
Oh, okay.
You gotta start outside the protractor.
Copy.
Yeah, so you want to be starting on the interior of the protractor, right? So you got the outer numbers, which will only go up to about 60 or so, right? And then you got the inner numbers that go all the way up to 360. You want to start the pencil marker on the inner lines on the 296.
Copy.
And then, so start it there, and then drag it straight through the center of the protractor and all the way out through the other side.
Copy.
Everybody done that?
Done.
Negative. 1 second.
Okay.
I'm having a real hard time lining this up. I'm sorry.
So if you click it on the protractor number, whatever you got, it should be close to what I'm at, 296 or 297. Just click it there, and the line will stay straight. So just extend it, I guess. Through the protractor.
You got to hit it once to start the draw, and then you'll do the drag, and then you hit it again to complete it. So you don't have to hold the button the whole time.
Yes.
Well, I feel like I'm doing something massively wrong, because if I go 296, I feel like I'm going in the wrong direction.
Nah, remember you gotta subtract the 180.
So if you're above 180, you add 180. If you're below 180, you subtract 180.
So that should give you like 116. And then run that line to 116.
Okay, yep. That's what I did wrong.
I do apologize. I gave you that one backwards. So if your azimuth is over 180, you subtract 180. If it's under 180, you add. So this is, if you're looking at this one, since it's 296, it's over. Obviously, that's higher than 180. So we will subtract 180, and that'll give you the heading that it should be going to. So,
okay, so yeah, that should be 116. Okay, that's what I was.
So what you can do is, calculator will help too. Take whatever it is. If it's 296 minus 180, you should be looking at 116. So you start at 296, and then you'll draw a straight line through until you go past the protractor at 116, and that'll be exactly where you need to be at. That'll give you your first intersecting point.
All right, I think I've got it.
You could do this with a single line if you had a rangefinder.
All right, I've got it.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna get our bearing with the radio tower. So for me, it's 072, just about. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to move your protractor on top of the radio tower.
All right, what was the bearing you had there, Sergeant?
072.
All right, so since we're under 180 degrees, we're now going to have to add 180. So 180 plus 72 will be the adjacent bearing that you're looking to draw your intersecting line to. Now remember, you can get a very accurate grid doing this, but the point of this exercise is so that you can draw this out, intersecting lines, find out, within a 6-digit grid of where you are. I mean, really, you can get it much more narrow than that, but within a 6-digit grid of where you're at. And so you can call that up to friendlies if you need them to help you out, or you can then use that to reference your 6-digit grid to their 6-digit grid. And then you can navigate your way to their position and link back up, or vice versa.
Yeah, so if you guys drew both those lines, then now you should see that it should intersect right just about where we are.
The point is if it's not directly on you, it's very difficult to get a 1 by 1 meter grid. So that's why I was saying, it'll get you a 6-digit grid, which will put you within 100 meters. Like I said, you can get much more accurate than that using this method, but the point is to give you a rough idea. You're totally lost, right? You just know where some landmarkers are. It gives you a rough idea of where you are in reference to other things, and now you know where you need to be heading.
Yeah, and you guys can see it looks like it's kind of like maybe a bit over there where it actually intersects. But at that point, then you can go on your map and you can see, okay, we're on a road, right? We're on a paved road. So, all right, just shift it over a little bit, and that's your exact grid rough. You can use the things around you to really nail down exactly where you're at. Like if you look down to our south, right? There's a dirt ASR there that leads out to the west and down that hill there. From here now, all right, we know we're up here. We go down, we want to keep moving down to Regina without, following our compass or whatever, we get down to there, we get to that right turn, and we can reorient ourselves using that road with our compass again and set our bearing.
All right, now Private DOG brought up a good point. If you had some rangefinders and, say you whipped out your rangefinders and you saw that lighthouse down there, and I'm seeing that it's 1,122 meters away, you could use this same method and you draw, so you get the bearing and the range, and you can draw a line from there and obviously use the add 180 or subtract 180 method. So in that case, you would need to subtract 180, and you draw it to the same one, and then where that line goes, you would then, your intersecting point that you're using, instead of another point, you're using the range to it. So you would have to use your grid lines there, and you could roughly go, how many is that? It should be 10 or 11. It should be 11.2 100-meter grid markers away from you, right? So you count out 11 and some change, and that'll put you roughly where you're at. It's not quite as accurate as doing 2 intersecting lines like this one is. It'll probably put you a little bit off, but it'll get you where you need to go in a pinch, right? You need to know roughly where you're at. You could go, okay, well, there's a road there. I am actually standing on the road, so now I know where I'm at. And it'll get your bearings. That's if you have the means of getting accurate range. with a rangefinder.
And you can rotate your protractor to get a more accurate distance measurement as well.
Yes, that's where I was getting into. We can get very, very accurate grid refs here doing these methods, but the point is to get it within 6-digit grid, something actionable enough that you can pass up to whoever you're communicating with about where you're at, where you think you're lost and you think you're here. And then they could, use their grid ref to navigate to you, or you could now know where they are since they'll pass up theirs and move to them. All right. Are there any questions on that before we move on? Because that's going to become important later on. If you get lost, you're going to have to do something like that. You're going to have to find your intersecting point to find your way back home. So if you have questions, you really need to ask them now.
You will be getting lost.
Yeah.
Can we run through it one more time?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so you pull out your compass.
Why don't you find two different landmarks, maybe, if you can find them.
Thing, right, is when you're here, right, you're gonna look for any sort of features, major features or minor features, right? So I just see the lighthouse tower. That's the easiest one.
Yeah.
They're very prominent when you open the maps and whatnot. So.
Well, if you come over here just a couple of meters, you'll see to the 300 that there's a town down there next to some water. So you could use that as a reference as well,
Yeah.
And then town of Camarac.
Yeah, and pull up map and kind of look at features. All right, we got a little bay over here to our northeast. Another bay to the northwest, the peninsula with the lighthouse on it, and then we got a town just behind that. So then you go on your map, you're going to look all around, try to get your bearing, where that's exactly at on the map. You pull your protractor out, center the protractor on the lighthouse, and then you're going to get your bearing. Pull out your compass, set it on the lighthouse, and so for me it's 296. So you're gonna subtract the 180.
Okay.
That's 116, and then you're gonna put the line on 116 using the pencil. Then drag your pencil all the way through the center of the protractor out to the other side, just to give it some good range. Try to make it as centered as possible. And then you move on to your next reference point. Should be the radio tower up to our 075. So you're gonna do the same thing the first time. You've got a hill, really tall hill. Looks like you know where the lighthouse is at this point, so you can kind of reference, right? All right, that's gonna be to the east a bit. So you look about like east. Okay, got the tower marker up there, up at Western Heights. So then you're going to move your protractor to that. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to pull out your compass, get your bearing. For me, it's about 072. So you're going to add the 180. It's 252. So then you're going to put the line on 252. And you're going to do the same thing. Draw it straight through the protractor, out to the other side. And then you can remove the protractor and you can see just about where they intersect.
Okay, got it. That makes sense now. Sorry.
You're
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's the point. That's the point of learning this. Yeah. The best lesson here is don't get lost, then you don't have to do all this, right? But if you do, it's important to know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What?
I'm maybe the only one not adding or subtracting anything and still getting the same location.
Okay, so yeah, you can. Yeah. So if you actually just take the protractor out and say you put it on the lighthouse, right?
Yes, I do exactly what you said.
So center on the lighthouse, right?
Lighthouse.
You get your bearing, right? 296 or whatever. You set the pencil on 296 on the left side, right? Without subtracting anything. Yep, draw a line straight through out to the other side.
The line is in the middle of the circle, in the middle of the protractor.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, if you didn't have, you have the benefit of blue 4 right now, right? Because you're looking at this and you see some blue 4 markers roughly where you're at right now.
If I see it at 296, I put the line on 296, draw that straight through the center of the protractor.
Yep,
and
out
I get
the
farther out to the right.
He is correct. It does work that way as well.
Yeah.
And then I put my protractor on the tower, do the same thing. What was it, 072?
Yes.
Do the same thing. I get pretty much the same location, just around the spot.
Yeah.
070, 028.
Adding or subtracting the 180 is going to give you an exact, it's going to give you an exact opposite bearing that you need to be drawing the line to. This is what I was talking about. You can get a much more accurate or rough area of where you're at, depending on, how much work you put into the intersection, into, guiding where that's supposed to be. I mean, you could draw a line roughly from there to where you're at, then you can draw it from there. Yeah, you'll get, a rough area. If you add the numbers or subtract the numbers, depending on, which one it is, you can get down to a very specific point by doing that. So the method you're using absolutely works. It's just that, it's about how accurate it is. But the point is to go over, the whole process. So in case you really do need a grid that's that accurate, you have the know-how of how to do it. Yeah, because, likewise, if you look over there and you see it's, for me right now, the lighthouse is like 300. I just do an exact about face. It won't be an exact number, but roughly 120 is about 180 degrees behind me, so that'll work. Enough for government work, at least. All right. Are there any more questions on that? Because we're about to role play Naked and Afraid.
Love it.
All right. Sergeant Campbell, do you have anything for me before we
disappeared.
Go and dump these guys off in the wild blue yonder? All right.
All right, so I know in the ALC it says to set up Op4 and have them locate that. I was just gonna place them all by themselves and then have them work themselves back to one location.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the idea.
They'll need to meet up with their buddy partner before they make it back down.
Right. Yeah, that's perfectly fine way to do it. Yeah, that's perfectly fine way to do it. The patrols are more so to give you extra points to navigate to Private Lawson. Fix your comms there. The patrols, the reason why they're included is to give you extra points to navigate to or away from, right? So if you know a patrol's there, you might need to get an exact bearing on where you're at and where they're at so that you can navigate around them. With the number of people here, though, and the battle buddy teams, and we would have to give you all very specific areas to avoid. So we want to make sure that you know how to get from point A to point B, most importantly. Let's do this.
Yes. All right, so Alpha is full, so I was just going to have them buddy team up, and then I was just going to have Doc join Bravo.
Sure. Yeah, that works. That works fine.
All right, copy. Split the PFCs up. Private Falls, you will go with Private Brian and Private Brown and Private Wood. You guys will be together. Alpha, if you want
what's going on?
make your own buddy teams, you can do so.
I didn't see you there.
Dio, go with Ren. I'll go with Lawson.
Done.
All right.
All right.
Hold on. Material that they might need. Rangefinders. Put your rangefinders on the ground.
On the ground, Roger.
Just drop them at your feet so I can see who's dropped them.
Okay.
All right, I got 4, and I got 4 over here. I got 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, everybody's dropped them. Step away from them.
Step away.
They're bombs. You ain't allowed to pick them back up.
All right.
Oh no, IED.
You're back in. Disregard.
All right. So you guys will be dropped somewhere in the center of the map. Your objective will be to meet up with your buddy partner and then work your way back to the town of Province. So let's just do that grid ref where we started at. So grid ref 056, 059, keypad 5 is where your endpoint. So you'll all start individually. You'll need to work your way to your buddy team. And then together you guys will work together to find your way all the way back to the town of Province.
Let's go ahead and get those markers removed too.
Copy.
Are we going to use specific radio nets for each buddy team?
I was going to ask the same thing.
If you guys want to designate that real quick before we send you out, you can set your own.
Right.
Everyone monitor 3-2. If you need any help or assistance, that's where you just.
Yeah, so second net will be 3-2. DOG Ren, you're on 4-1.2. Brown and Wood, you're on 4-1.4. 0.6. 0.8. Everybody got the nets?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and do your radio checks. Make sure you're good to go.
0.2 check.
Sergeant Hawkett, if you can help
Station, this
me,
is Wood on 41.4. Can I get a radio check?
put them out in the world.
Ryan, this is Mike on 41.6.
If you can help me put them all out in the world, just
Radio check, point 8.
We'll put them out in buddy teams somewhat nearby each other,
Take a mic, Ryan.
and
Mic
their
out.
goal will be to work back to the town of Province, but they'll start individually. So you take a buddy team, I'll take a buddy team.
This is Brown on 41.4. Radio check over.
Are we?
Reach your 5x5. Over.
Sergeant Jacobs, I did the reading portion of this, but this was supposed to be your team training, so make sure you have. I sent the attendance to you. Make sure you're filling out your NCO course report at the end of this.
Okay.
Are we allowed to drop marks on the map or not?
Sergeant Rouse.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like it helps you navigate, I mean, it's no different than if you had a pencil and a map, right? You know, you'd use those to kind of mark, you know, notable locations, whatever. Do what you got to do. You just got to get back home. Oh, well, doesn't matter to him anymore.
Yeah. All right, let's.
I think he's big lost.
Yeah, he's super lost.
Oh shit, Hawkett's already taking the dudes. All right. Well,
They
you guys
have
are
all the
starting.
tools to figure it out, so there's no big deal with them moving right now. I'm having a hard time getting these pencil markings off of there. Where's the eraser for this thing?
So open your
Gotta put
pencil
the
again
protractor.
on the while you got your map open. While you got the pencil open, you can
I'll
delete
click the
them.
points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
It's
right.
like
I guess
it's like
do
the
you wanna
fucking
talk
rapture. We're just
on
getting
4-1,
taken away.
or you're gonna go Game Master, I assume.
We'll be on 4-0 for the internal, and we'll have them on 3-2 if they need to reach us. I've got the long range, so I'll be able to hear wherever.
All right, copy.
I don't want to use 4-1 because I think Martinez might.
I'm lost.
I'm behind you.
Let's look out over here. Okay, there's a farm-looking building to the 015.
Alright, so we got these power lines right here. Let me see. It says we are. Let's see, power lines.
Alright, everybody stand by.
There's a pond right in front of us as well.
Let's see, hold on. I think it's more rifle. Alright, you see these power lines that are going southeast and then reverse?
Yeah.
Alright, if you look on the line, we have an MSR. Do you see it? Do you see so there should be 2 towns. There should be one on our right and then one on our left. And then this fence right here. I'm trying to figure out where we are. Let's see. What the fuck?
Radio check on 41.8.
Lima Charlie.
I'm near town. Trying to find something else of importance.
We're still working as buddy teams, right?
Yeah, we have to work together to find each other.
good copy. Reference 074067 military site.
Eyes on.
Alright, do you have eyes on via map or you have eyes on the compound?
Eyes on via map. There's a town. If there's a town to, let's say, stand by. If you're in the front entrance of the MSR, look north and there's a town. If that's the one that I'm facing. But this one's...
Are you close to Chotain?
Could be.
Alright, I'm gonna get my exact grid and you can see it on the map.
Copy. Is it cheating if I use the map's knowledge to my advantage?
Yeah, I'm actually using, yeah, don't.
No, I'm saying like, in-game, like, not looking at the map.
I have no idea. I'm just going off of, land nav. But I get what you're saying, yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask. Radio check on 3-2, over.
Martinez, send on 3-2, over.
Martinez, I have a quick question. Break. Am I able to use, not using the map, but like the knowledge on the, posted on, let's say like a sign, to my advantage, over?
Affirm, any sort of signage or anything you can use to your advantage. If it's in the world, you can use it.
Affirm, hang on, Mike. Lawson, I'm in the town of Levy. I thought I saw posted on the, well, like a post saying this is the town of Levy.
Good copy. I am just to the break. to the east of Chotain. I'm gonna start working my way west.
Thing I'm like, I'm also hearing gunshots to my north.
Yeah, those shots are coming from my east.
Jacobs, this is Martinez on 3-2. Interrogative, what are those shots going on around here? Are we locking and loading over? Let me know once you're close. My direct grid is 074047 in the middle of town.
Alright, I just marked myself on the map. 073058. That's where I'm at. Pushing west time now.
Copy, I can meet you in the town of Lawrence. Directly to me, to my southeast. Negative, northeast. Moving to the town of Lawrence time now.
Affirm.
You're on a chopper to my south?
I got audible. South.
until you move it.
All stations this net, be advised, if you make it to the town of Province by yourself and without your battle buddy, you will fail ALC-1.
Martinez copies.
Wood copies.
I'm about 100
Battle
to
buddies,
200
copy.
meters of the town of Florons.
Copy. Gonna be coming out of that tree line to your west.
Copy, I'm coming in from the southeast. Time now. I'm at the one marked building 075055.
Eyes on.
Eyes on you.
I'm bearing 282 in the tree line.
Copy, I see you.
Alright, push to me.
Oscar Mike. On you.
Alright, we need a hook direct west.
Copy.
You with me?
Yep.
I heard fucking shots everywhere, so I'm locked.
Copy.
Not fucking around with this shit. Do you have intel on that patrol, or there's no patrols?
Audible on a Vic to the southeast. And closing. Logging and loading. Alright, coming down the northeast ASR.
Alright, keep pushing west.
On you.
Alright, LDA. Got a deer tower bearing 236. Gonna push across.
Eyes on a Vic southwest. A blackout Vic. Maybe we can take it.
Where?
216.
I don't know if there's any checkpoints. I mean, I'd rather stay on foot.
It's a mounted technical. Let's keep moving.
Checking map.
We should be close to Shotane.
Shoten is toward north.
Yes, we're by reference we're 070056.
Affirm.
So we should be heading. Stand by north.
I want to hit.
Northwest?
I want to hit farm. Farm, which is 066058.
Copy, eyes on.
All right, pushing the farm.
Let's go.
We got some intel that said congratulations.
Where was that Vic, by the way?
It was just down to our south. 195.
LDA.
Yep.
Check this street sign.
I'll be on you. That Vic has eyes on to us from here. 163.
Okay, I know where we are.
Yep.
Alright, moving. Oof.
Yep. Let's cross to the right. Should be the farm here.
Yep.
From farm, we should be going 280 straight to province.
Copy, moving.
Big rear. Heading south.
Moving.
Come across.
New heading 285.
ASR to our right.
Copy. Shots to the south. Just keep moving.
Crossing ASR. We're heading up here. Stand by.
Alright, so we crossed the
For
farm.
I think we should 1061-060. We can either go down behind, follow that ASR, and go on the left side of the MSR at 061057.
061057. Alright, so that complex just straight down from us then. Alright, moving.
Because this is all open field.
Yeah.
Because past that fucking little tree line there,
Vic.
it's all open.
Vic in front.
Copy.
Stopped. Eyes on the driver. Alright, crawling. Moving. Shift left. I think we're gonna have like a ditch based off what I'm seeing on the map in front of us soon.
Copy.
I'll watch right out, Vic.
Copy.
Go.
Let me know when you're set.
Set, go.
Copy, partner. Go.
Move. Move.
Moving. On you. Alright, stop in these trees here. Alright, we keep moving. 300. There should be trees in cover that we should be able to use.
Alright, so just follow this MSR until we hit that gas station.
Yep. Where their shots are from, but this is the only cover we have from the other side.
All stations, this net. Frago, you are cleared to lock and load. Continue movement to Province. Over.
Martinez copies.
Alright, we got some little bit of defilade under the MSR, so that's good.
Copy.
Crossing.
Follow these trees up there. Stay in the tree line.
Gents, use 3-2 to communicate between your buddy teams.
All buddy teams on this net, me and Lawson are coming in from the MSR to the east left side, 200 to 300 meters from province. Over.
How long that should go, fuck it.
Here, shots. Direct left.
I'll copy on my last.
I got your copy, Martinez. This is Wood. We are coming from the southeast. We're about 100 to 200 meters out as well. We just had contact. We're in the tree line here.
Hey. Get low.
First buddy team is in the sniper towers at the bay.
Hey, firm, eyes on. If you look to your southeast, we're directly in the tree line. Heading to time now.
Okay.
The RPG came from the left here. By this fucking buildings here.
Ready?
We should link up with them now.
Yeah. Alright, moving.
Stand by.
195 Ren.
195.
Alright, let's move.
Province team, you said you're in the towers?
Hey, firm in the tower.
Friendly's coming in.
Friendly's pushing in the cop.
Come on in.
Taking the south tower.
Got contacts at 195 for 210.
Let me get up top.
The guys on yellow smoke.
Hey, firm.
Got
We are in the compound, a little bit south to that yellow smoke.
Move to
Copy,
the yellow
there was contacts there.
I got
Eyes
eyes on
on
There's
you.
a contact between you and me in the bushes.
You talking
That's
to me,
me.
Dio?
You're looking right at me.
No, that's fine. You said contact in the bushes between you and I?
Hey, firm.
Contacts bearing 246, 200 meters in the tree line.
Q09 the gate.
Hey, firm, eyes on.
You can push to us, Wood. We can cover you. Provide SPF. Make sure you guys cross to the right. Not in front of us.
Suppress them, suppress them.
One down. Keep moving.
Behind us.
This is Mike and Brian. We are grid ref.
Hey, 030. Northeast.
65. We have a team size element contacts to our east, heading south to your location. Time now.
Alright guys, set up to the northeast and watch that sector.
Everybody pick a sector. We can't all be watching the same thing. I will be watching west to southwest.
Copy. Looking
I got northeast.
Northwest and northeast.
Engage those contacts on that white smoke to the northeast. McFalls, Sagan, you're last. Where you're coming from, over.
We are grid ref 056065, engaging contacts to our east, just north of you guys now.
Copy. Are you able to make it to us?
Affirmative. Contacts are down. We are traveling to you. Time now.
Copy.
Hey.
We'll provide SPF.
Hey, Dio, can you put a 40 in that white smoke 029?
Put through that white smoke to the southwest.
It got really quiet.
There's probably none of us then. these guys are coming in from the southwest. Danger close, in the smoke.
Lawson on me. He's in the smoke. I'm not sure if I got him.
Reloading.
Are you under me, Ren?
Yep. I want you yourself.
Frag out. Another frag out.
Hey, somebody check on Mike, see where they're at.
Mike, where you at?
Alright, this is Mike and Brian. We are coming along the...
Say again, you were 1x5.
We're coming along the ASR that is just north of Province.
Copy.
What net are we reconsolidated to?
32.
Alright, we still need to get the fucking province. So, once they get here...
What'd you say?
Oh, I did not realize that we...
Bonovic East. Prep that law. It's a BTR coming down the road. It's a BRDM.
Dismounts.
Got a rocket.
Light it up. Full auto. Ah.
I'm hit, bandaging.
Go hit on the right side, unsure if it's gonna go on fire.
Ah, yeah, we fucked up.
Be advised.
You want to trade losses?
I'm good.
Be advised. Yep, there are friendlies coming along the ASR to the northwest. We have eyes on friendlies in a tower.
Technical coming down the road to the northwest. Gunner's down.
Gun truck down the road west.
Do we want to take a squad and take that gun truck?
Negative, we want to clear these contacts first before we move forward.
Hey, guy in the tree line, 088.
Friendlies approaching the tower. Time now.
And we also want to wait for McFalls and Brian to push up to us. There's another guy upping in on the gun.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Hey! Armor's up!
We got a squad worth of guys coming in from the 112.
Hey,
Someone engage that BRDM!
Reloading. Hey, Dio, need a 40 on that BDRM.
Board, I need you to just engage it with your fucking 332. Or not 332, but your fucking gun, please.
Go ahead. Get up there.
I don't get eyes. Sorry, I'm getting fucking bad headaches.
It's on fire.
Is it 332?
No, east. That BRDM, and there's a squad with the guys behind it.
We got a freaking sharpshooter somewhere.
Are we all reconsolidated here?
I think it's an A firm.
This is McFalls and Brian. We've met with you guys.
Copy, we need to move to the town of Providence. Time now.
All stations, this net, hold position at that compound. Over.
Hey, team size coming in 098 on the
We're
MSR.
supposed to be on it, my bad.
Team size element on the MSR 098.
Copy, engaging.
hop in here with you.
Ren, are you okay?
No, I'm not. I'm fucked up.
What happened?
I got put in the air when I came in, reattached.
Hey, Deal, let me get some rounds, 40 mics, break 099.
Loading.
Give me a distance.
Alright, I've got you some morphine.
Make sure you guys are watching west as well.
Contact danger close 300, just outside the wire.
Okay now. You're improving from now.
You didn't give me a
Who's
distance.
ever in that
loss.
fucking tower to the northwest, look west.
Hey, Deal, reference the burning BDRM.
Yeah, I've already sent some rounds up that way.
There's more guys up there, that's why I'm calling it out.
Guys, we need to hold sectors.
Drag
Can't
him
all
back
be
here.
looking at
Right
the same
here.
thing.
Good hit.
Alright.
Alright, that guy came in the wall from the northwest.
You've lost some blood.
It was a single guy. Be advised, I'm watching the northwest sector now.
Copy. I'm watching southwest.
Okay, actually, you should be good.
Watching
No morphine
east.
needed.
Reloading.
I'm crossing to the corner here in front of me.
Sounds like a bunch of civvies.
Ears on.
We got like I don't know.
Something.
These are panicking somewhere.
People start running out, PID your targets.
Or it's a concert. Oh my god, it's Taylor Swift!
There's a freaking active shooter over there.
I don't see anybody.
Still hold your sector, boys.
I see one
Hey guys, hold your sector
civvy
still.
in the section.
Yeah.
There should be a minimum of 2 people looking that way.
So you got 2 civvies coming down.
2 civvies in suits.
Copy, eyes on.
To be far end of the road.
Lawson, is this my cue?
Don't.
We had 4 civvies that started to run to the northwest, turned around, and started coming our direction.
Copy.
If they start to approach the cop 5S.
Yeah, what? 6 times civvies looks like coming from the north.
What in the fuck is that?
Godzilla?
Godzilla?
Is it? Somebody's got a garage band going on in that power station over there.
Hopefully it's not a tank.
Sounded like.
I hear
What the fuck
zombies.
is that? Zombies.
Oh, fuck.
You kidding me?
Did Rouse just become a zombie?
Alright, all stations rally on 1-1.
Some Jeeper Creeper shit.
Where are you, Red?
Right here.
There you are.
Hey, Brain. Good job, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We all here?
Alpha's all here.
Except the zombies.
This is why we do
Yep,
files, so I can
Bravo's
just
all
count
right.
you off real fast. Alright. Good work, everybody. Yep, you found your buddies. You got back here as instructed. You did a good job. You, we threw something in there for fun at the end there for y'all to, for some of y'all that got back a little earlier than others. And you defended the area. Good job setting up your sectors there at the end. Make sure you had proper security everywhere. And that was ALC 1. Now you have a proper grasp on land navigation. So hopefully, no excuse for getting completely lost anymore. Sergeant Jacobs, did you have anything?
Hey, firm. Thank you, Sergeant. So one thing I noticed none of you really used, or I at least didn't see you guys use it at all, was you could have used your rifles for sound indications, right, to, relay to your battle buddy where you are. You could also use smokes and that types of stuff to mark your own positions and whatnot. You guys are still having some difficulty finding each other. That's it for me. Thank you, Sergeant.
PTS.
Yep. Sure, Private Lawson.
Thank you, Sarge. So in regards to that, right? So if we got lost and we're in a hostile territory, right? If we shoot, won't that give away our position 1? 2, if we use smokes, right? That's also a visual indicator of where we are. So anything where we can like stay hidden and not announce where we are, wouldn't that be ideal?
A firm, yes. In a task force operation scenario, yes. But I was just speaking specific for training exercise.
Gotcha. Okay.
The point is, use whatever available means you have. I mean, obviously, if you are concerned with enemies hearing it, you may want to use different. If you're concerned with them hearing, maybe you could use visual markers like smoke if you know that they should be too far away to see it. Yeah. The point is just use available resources. But you did use your radios and found your way back home, so that's good. Alrighty. Corporal Martinez, did you have anything?
Nothing for Alpha. Thank you, Sergeant.
All right. Sergeant Halkett, do you have anything that you noticed that you would like to speak on? Words of wisdom, as always. All right. Sergeant Campbell, did you have something for us?
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant Rouse. I did not notice any deficiencies here. This was well done. Thank you.
Alrighty, everybody. You are dismissed. Remember, we have this Sunday coming up, so 2000. And then we have squad training the following next Monday at 2000. That'll be our mandatory one. So I'll see you guys there.
What?
I have a quick question for you, Sergeant.
Sure, Private Brown. What you got?
So, this land nav is helpful on this map for Anazay. Everything kind of looks the same. And it's much larger.
Anazay would be a lot easier. I'm sorry.
Would it be a lot easier?
There's a lot of the thing is there's still land markers on Anazay, right? It's not just a it is not as descriptive as this, I would say, but there are certainly land markers. You can use large rock formations. There, no matter where you are, and unless you're in a hyperbolic time chamber, as it were, then you should be able to reference something, right? So. Generally, you would also have your rangefinder. The point of not having the rangefinder was so that you properly did all the steps required for land nav. So even if you had something as simple as, well, I got an open desert area between myself on this large rock and a large rock 200 meters out, well, then you can look at your map and use intersecting lines to figure out where you are compared to other landmarks, right? So it's still relevant. Anybody else? Or did you have more, Private Brown? Alrighty. If no one has anything else, then good work. We'll get the report put in there. Sergeant Jacobs will, since he was officially conducting the class.
Sergeant Rouse?
Yes, Private Diogi.
What was the point of the congratulations folder in the middle of the compound?
Well, congratulations. You completed the land nav.
And you were the first one here.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is also to make sure that you do look for intel wherever you go and conduct SSC.
Yep. Remember, we've talked about this a dozen times before when we do CQB, for example, or any kind of mount, anything really. We're searching for intelligence is kind of a baseline thing of what we're doing, whether it be, visual intelligence, written intelligence, technology, human intelligence. We're always looking for something to get the edge on the fight. So, yeah. It's, shooting the guns and doing all that stuff is fun and accomplishes the mission, but you need intelligence to know how to accomplish the next mission. So,
copy.
Always be on the lookout for intelligence. And also, congratulations for being here first.
I called it. I was even talking to Wood. I was like, I wonder if anyone got there first. And both of us were like, Yogi.
Yeah. They got here pretty early. They were the first team to find their battle buddies, and they were the first team to get here. They were pretty lightning fast at it. So good job, guys.
What a bunch of tryhards.
Appreciate that.
You got a gold star.
And I'm collecting those gold stars. Take my gold star.
All right, guys. You are dismissed.
All right.
Take care, y'all.
Appreciate it, guys.
Good night.
Take it easy.
Yep, take it easy. Thanks for coming and filling.
Yeah, thanks for putting it on.
Are these all the different types of intel?
Stay firm. Different types of intel, different types of anything that you can pick up.
Where's the drugs?
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna yoink these all
Yeah,
out.
I've picked up laptops before in and out.
Nah, there's the good stuff there.
I haven't seen cash before. That's the first time I saw the cash.
Yeah, cash is pretty good.
I've seen a phone. I've seen passports. And obviously these red folders, but I think that was when we were running with 15th.
Alright, gents. I'm out of here. Private Lawson, come talk to me if you want to.
That's so funny.
Damn, is that a Motorola in the middle?
Alright. I'll see you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, it'd be great. Can you imagine what it'll sound like with that many discombobulated people trying to sing happy birthday?
Appreciate it.
How awesome would it be to get that many people that discombobulated to sing happy birthday?
Oh, that's cool. It even shows up in your inventory.
I remember that. I think I do remember that. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Good stuff.
See you guys.
It must be purgatory.
You there?
Sunday. I'll write it down.
Quickly. So the money actually shows up in your inventory. It's not like just a weird space.